Hey Truth Seekers, welcome back. Zach here. In this video, I want to briefly talk about Game 5 of the NBA Finals, which happened yesterday, June 13th, and also 3 celebrity deaths reported in the media within the last 24 hours. If you're new to my channel, I am showing how sports are scripted and how celebrities die in seemingly ritual fashion around the time of sports championships. In recent weeks, I've done videos on the death of Muhammad Ali, Kimbo Slice, Gordie Howe, the recent young pop star, Christina Grimmie. In this video, we're going to talk about 3 more deaths within the last 24 hours. I've shown how all of these deaths thus far have been connected to the NBA Finals. Just before the start of the playoffs, I showed how Prince's death was one of these rituals by the numbers, coinciding with what's going on in the NBA playoffs, the NBA Finals to come. If you haven't seen those videos, please search my name. Just type in Zachary K. Hubbard and any of those names we just mentioned. The videos will pop right up. If you missed my preview video yesterday, that's this right here. I talked about why I expected the Cavs to win, why this should go to 7 games, and why it should end in Cleveland's favor. I talked an awful lot about the number 41, a number I've been talking about all season, a very significant number this year, especially for LeBron James, who's in his 13th season. In case you're new here, I talk about gematria, the practice of coding numbers into words. USA, for United States of America, sums to 41. 41 is the 13th prime number. Those are the numbers that are only divisible by 1 in themselves. So 41 can only be divided by 41 and 1. It's the 13th prime number. The first is 2, the second is 3, the third is 5, the fourth is 7. 41 is the 13th. So anyway, I talked an awful lot about that number in this video. Lo and behold, the final score of the game, Cavs win, and their 2-star players, Kyrie Irving and LeBron James, both finish with 41 points. The word king equals 41. LeBron James is nicknamed King James. 41, the 13th prime, King 41. I've been showing how the entire NBA playoffs have been scripted largely around LeBron, all these LeBron tributes. LeBron, the big star of the league, this year became the first professional athlete to ever sign a lifetime contract with a company. He did that with Nike, meaning they have rights to him until the day he dies. There's a lot of interesting things in yesterday's score within the scripting, but for the sake of not being redundant and showing what I've already shown 100 times in the playoffs, let's just talk about the celebrity deaths connected to yesterday's basketball game. I want to start with Bryan Robinson, the 14-year NFL football player. Remember, when you write out 14, it sums to 41 in gematria. We were talking about this very number yesterday in the video in regards to Joe Jellybean Bryant, drafted 14th overall 41 years ago by the Golden State Warriors. Golden State equals 41, Kobe Bryant equals 41. Both of them played their last game of the regular season on April 13th, the 13th day. So anyway, Bryan Robinson, just before the game, former football player, it's announced that he has died at age 41. He died 9 days before his 42nd birthday. And a lot stands out here. Notice he died or was born in Toledo, Ohio. We just saw Gordie Howe die the other day in Toledo, Ohio, where the Cleveland Cavaliers are from. And with regards to the gematria of Toledo, Ohio, it sums to 118, like the word death, a number we often find in the birth numerology, the name gematria, the birthplace gematria of these celebrities who die by the numbers. He supposedly died yesterday just before Game 5. Notice they called him Big Dog. He died in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. And with regards to the NBA, there used to be a basketball player named Glenn Robinson, and his nickname was Big Dog as well. Big Dog Robinson. Played with Ray Allen, Sam Cassell. This man dies in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, where the Bucks are from. So here's what stands out about his name. Brian Keith Robinson, his full name, sums to 93 in gematria. So does the word crucifix. So does Oracle Arena, where the basketball game was played. And 93 is one of these numbers we find around ritual sacrifice often. If you go back through all of the celebrity death videos I've made, going back to 2014, in the vast majority of those videos, the number 93 is discussed. The word Saturn equals 93. Saturn worship, very important to the occult. Said to be the most important planet. Also, Bryan Robinson in Gematria sums to 67. So does the phrase blood sacrifice, and we find 67 all the time in celebrity deaths. Earlier this year, in February, on the day Vanity died, I made a video and said, Prince better watch his ass, we might read about him next. Prince ended up dying 67 days after Vanity. And in that video, which you can still watch from February, I talk about these exact numbers, 67 and 118, as well as 93. Prince ended up dying on the 93rd meridian, where his home is, on the 44th parallel. The word kill equals 44. Where this man died in Wisconsin, Wisconsin's one of only 2 states with the gematria of 44. When you follow this study, you see how redundant these numbers become. The same numbers are always quoted around the deaths of these celebrities as reported. What else stands out is his last name, Robinson, in simple English gematria sums to 106, the number of prophecy. I'm going to link my preview video from yesterday. I talked very much about the number 106 in addition to 41. This man dies having a last name with 106 gematria just before the game. Remember, the real King James, the king from the past that the Bible's named after, his birthday will be the date of Game 7. He was born June 19th, 1566. His birth numerology is 106, the number of prophecy. Also, June 19th will be the 106-year anniversary to the day of the first ever Father's Day. Talked about these things in the preview video. Here's that number again, 106. With regards to him dying 9 days before his 42nd birthday, that's interesting because when you write out the word 9, it sums to 42. 42, a number often negatively stamped on black Americans. We just saw Muhammad Ali pass at age 74. He was born in 1942. He got Parkinson's at age 42. I did a video in 2014 discussing the significance of these numbers to Muhammad Ali and saying we might see him pass at age 74 because Muhammad equals 74, just like Masonic. Very important number to this game. 3 days after the death of Muhammad Ali, we saw the death of another fighter, Kimbo Slice, who was age 42, born in 74. This man was also born in 74, almost 42. His name, Bryan Robinson, as he went by, sums to 166 in gematria. So does the name Kevin Ferguson, the same name for Kimbo Slice, his birth name. Kimbo Slice, Bryan Robinson, born in the same year, similar names, both dead by the numbers. The date of this man's birthday, June 22nd, 1974, a date with 121 numerology. Revelation equals 121. Warriors equals 121. Also a date with a life lesson number of 49. Revelation, the small way, 49. Warriors, the small way, 49. Remember, the Warriors are originally from Philadelphia. Philadelphia is named from the book of Revelation in the Bible. Warriors, Philadelphia, connected through Revelation. Prince attended the Oklahoma City Thunder, visiting the Warriors game March 3rd, 2016, and he would die 49 days later. You can look up the Prince video. He's being interviewed by Tavis Smiley. He explains that all we can go by in this world is prophecy. He says that's all he's worried about. He says the only thing you can use in this world is prophecy. The game that Prince went to, the Warriors won 121 to 106. Warriors equals 121. They won with 121 points. The Thunder finished with 106, the number of prophecy. And when you add that score together, 121 plus 106, it sums to 227. That is the 49th prime number. Those teams had just played days earlier on February 27th. The Warriors won with 121 points in that game. The Thunder lost with 118, that number connected to death. And their team had 3 bizarre tragedies this year. Dion Waiter's brother in Philadelphia, the city of brotherly love, the city from Revelation. The owner of the team, Aubrey McClendon, after being indicted. And also the wife of the coach in a car crash. She died at age 44. Kill equals 44. The head coach was 44 at the time. Remember, 44 has been a big number for the Warriors as well. They're in their 44th season of being in Golden State. Steve Kerr came back for the 44th game. Anyhow, moving on, getting back to this guy's birth numerology. June 22nd, 1974. Also a date with 31 numerology. Basketball equals 31. Cavs trying to come back from down 3-1. We saw in the college championship that was won by Villanova just outside of Philadelphia. They won after last winning 31 years ago. They won in 85 basketball. The big way equals 85. The small way, 31. They won 31 years later. This year, the Warriors became the 10th team to come back from down 3-1. Curry equals 31 the small way, 85 the big way, just like basketball. Curry scored 31 points in the game that gave them the win for the series over the Thunder, coming back 3-1. Now the Cavs find themselves in the same situation, the 33rd team to be down 3-1 in the NBA Finals. No one's ever come back and won it. If the Cavs do, they'll be the first. What's interesting about them being the 33rd team in this situation is Cleveland is the only city in the league that sums to 33, just like NBA Finals, and they will have done this for the first time in the NBA Finals should it happen. He was also born on a date with 102 numerology, United States of America 102, Key of David 102, special number connected to Revelation. The Key of David is mentioned in the same verse about Philadelphia, Revelation 3:7. All interrelated. The date he died, June 13th, yesterday, a date with 55 numerology, sacrifice equals 55. Date with 19 numerology, we're seeing 19 and 91 show up in a lot of deaths recently. Will Smith, the football player, number 91, died on 4/9, April 9th. The other player from the NBA who played for the Pelicans, he died 49 days later, also from New Orleans. Anyhow, 19 is interesting in numerology because 1 symbolizes the beginning, 9 the end. To say, alpha and omega, beginning and end kind of. 1-9. Also a date with 35 numerology. Draymond Green was suspended yesterday, the 35th overall pick. King James equals 35. Not arbitrary numbers. And again, he died 9 days before what would have been his 42nd birthday. 9 has that gematria of 42. Interesting that they show this picture of him with the number 88. Remember, the Warriors' prior win was their 88th of the season. It came 88 days after Steph Curry's birthday. Steph Curry's birthday is March 14th. We talked about the number 227 a minute ago, the 49th prime. That number is connected to pi. If you divide 22 by 7, you get the number for pi, 3.14. Steph Curry is born on Pi Day, March 14th. All of this stuff is interrelated. 8 is a way to symbolize the infinite in time because it's ongoing in cycles. Think about the number 8. Interesting they show this man in 88, especially in light of what the Warriors had just accomplished before Game 5. 14-year NFL veteran, dead at 41. Again, when you write out 14, it sums to 41. Milwaukee, Wisconsin is where he passed. Gematria of 81. Chicago equals 81. They make a big point that he started his career with the Bears and finished with the Cardinals. The Cardinals are originally from Chicago, one of the first 2 football teams in the NFL. Chicago in Jewish gematria sums to 81. Also, with regards to him dying at age 41, the 13th prime, Milwaukee, Wisconsin has gematria of 99, and when you write out 13, it sums to 99. 41, the 13th prime. Wisconsin, again, with that 44 gematria, like kill. Milwaukee with gematria of 46, like sacrifice. Vanity equaled 46. She died on the 46th day of the year in connection with the death of Prince, which came 67 days later. In this article, they talk about how his most remembered game, his career with the Bears, is probably best remembered for the Walter Payton game on November 7th, 1999. Robinson blocked a 28-yard field goal attempt by Green Bay's Ryan Longwell as time expired to preserve a 14-13 victory at Lambeau Field and snap a 10-game losing streak to the Packers. The date numerology of this game is 136, and he ended up dying on June 13th, which can be written 13/6. I don't think this is arbitrary either. I think this is all part of the ritual. And I suspect that this moment in football history was scripted. Professional sports are scripted. I can't emphasize it enough. Watch my video on the Ravens and Browns from Monday Night Football and how that game ended this past season. So scripted, so transparent if you know what to look for. And with regards to it being a 28-yard return, the word man equals 28. Notice also that he died yesterday on a date with a life lesson number of 28. And also having the connection through numerology to the date of this big play of his career that he's remembered for. Defeating a team with 13 points. NFL career of 14 years. Put it together 27 points. Another number associated with death. Most people have heard of the 27 Club. So anyway, if he's really dead, RIP, this is the kind of stuff I continue to expose. The ritual sacrifice of athletes, celebrities, musicians, actors, politicians, etc. during the time of sports championships. From the same day, this headline emerged just before the game, the Alf star had died. And the name almost looks like Ali, right? F the 6th letter, I the 9th, if 6 was 9. Anyway, he's dead at 76, and in numerology, 76 is 7 plus 6 equals 13. You know, we're talking about 41, 13. King James in his 13th year, 13th season. 13, of course, breaks down to 4 in numerology. The date numerology of this day was 19. Alf in gematria equals 19. Look at the TMZ article. They posted it 9/19. 9119. I looked up when Alf ran from. I remember being a kid watching this show. I was born in 1983. I was 3 years old when this came out. But I like this character, Alf. I didn't like much TV when I was a kid. I didn't want to watch most of it, but for some reason, I liked watching this character, Alf. I remember that. Anyhow, the show ran from September 22nd, 1986 to March 24th, 1990. The first NBA Finals was in the year 86. That's the year they changed the name to NBA Finals. Anyhow, numerology of the beginning date, 136, and the end date, 136. And what date does this man die? June 13th, which can be written 13/6. Just like the numerology of the football player and what he's remembered for. These are the kind of patterns that are ongoing. In the article that they mentioned that he was only 33 inches tall, considered the world's smallest man, they bring up how he was friends with Michael Jackson, another person who died by the numbers. If you've never seen my work on Michael Jackson's death, please check it out. He was born in Hungary. His birth name, Mihaly Mazaros, gematria of 67, just like blood sacrifice, just like Bryan Robinson. Numbers that show up again and again in the celebrities we read about and the headlines. His name gematria, 35 and 44. You know, there's that kill number again. Numbers we just saw in the death of the last man. From the date of his death to his upcoming birthday, 99 days. Remember, 76, 7 plus 6 is 13. 13 equals 99. My next video that I'm going to put out tonight is on the movie Monsters, Inc., and it might be one of the more important videos I've done to date. I'm going to talk about a lot of these same numbers and what's coded into that movie and why it came out the day it did, just after September 11th. Important video, if you got time to check that one out next. The date he was born on in history, September 20th, 1939. Date with numerology of 33. Interesting, he ended up being a 33-inch tall man. And again, dead on this date with 55 numerology, sacrifice, 19 connecting to Alf, the character he played. So both of those deaths just before Game 5, reported in the headlines. Today, news comes out that this young man has passed. He supposedly died June 12th, but the story is just coming out today. He is connected to WWE, the rigged wrestling league that everybody knows is rigged, but they still watch for entertainment. What I'm telling you in my research is that the WWE is no more rigged than the NFL, the NBA, the MLB. All of this stuff is scripted, planned out, executed to the point. Anyhow, he has passed at age 49. We established the significance of 49. The band he played with was called DX Band. And in Gematria, they summed to 49. Warriors in Gematria equals 49. Yesterday, they hosted Game 5. The Cavs who are visiting were wearing black as if they were dressed for a funeral. The reason that stands out to me now is because LeBron, before yesterday's game, had a press conference on June 12th, and he was wearing an Undertaker t-shirt, like the WWE character. And with regards to this man having connections to the WWE, upcoming WrestleMania 33 is to happen in Orlando, Florida. If you haven't seen my video on the Orlando shooting, I show how there's all this coding. It's a planned hoax, false flag, whatever you want to call it. I show how they script these tragedy stories with tributes to the sports games. I also showed this a week earlier with the Minnesota shooting at UCLA. I didn't mean to say Minnesota shooting. The reason I said that is because the day of the UCLA shooting, I explained how there were these parallels going on between Los Angeles and Minnesota, and it was mostly through basketball. The Lakers are originally from Minnesota. The day after making that video, new headlines came out explaining that the shooter at UCLA had traveled from Minnesota where he had just killed his wife. All of these stories are scripted, and they're synced up with the next tragedy to come, and they're even synced up with the world of sports. If you're new here, that'll probably pop your head off. Maybe it'll make you think that I'm out of my mind, but if you research what I'm saying, you're going to find out it's true. Anyhow, I was explaining the parallels between Orlando, Florida, and what's going on in the NBA Finals and the shooting. Just notice that WrestleMania, the next one, will be in Orlando, Florida on April 2nd, 2017. This man that we're talking about his death connected to the WWE, WrestleMania, all this. In the Orlando shooting, they just said 50 people were killed, a record. Remember, America equals 50, so does WrestleMania. And I don't find this as any surprise. Go back to October and see how I predicted that the Broncos would win the Super Bowl after watching a bogus news story in the media about a car wreck that catapulted a body that stuck to a freeway sign in Los Angeles at Colorado Street. All of the details coded out for the Denver Broncos, and I said, aha, watch for this narrative. I expect a Broncos Super Bowl. Lo and behold, it transpired. So, my history of predicting sports from news stories, it goes back. Last year I predicted that the Germanwings crash meant that the Duke Blue Devils would win the college championship. They did win. They defeated Wisconsin by the numbers. This is really what is going on in the world, as crazy as it sounds. This year's WrestleMania at the beginning of the year was in Arlington, Texas, having gematria of 179, the 41st prime. As I said, I've been talking about 41 all year. It's been going on. It's part of the theme. WrestleMania was announced for Orlando, Florida for 2017 on March 8th, 2016. The announcement of this man's death comes today, June 14th, 99 days later. The word death equals 38. Think about the date 3/8 for March 8th, kind of like 38 for death. I don't think that's a coincidence. In WrestleMania 32, the most recent Roman Reigns one, R's the 18th letter breaking down to 9, connecting back to our 13 theme. In the UFC, we saw Conor McGregor knock out Jose Aldo in 13 seconds. Jose Aldo is born on September 9th, 9. The name Jose equals 13. I did a video showing how that was likely scripted by the numbers. A lot of people didn't like that video, but sorry to be the bearer of bad news, you guys. We're watching rig sports sellouts on the TV. People who take big pay to sell out the masses with predetermined outcomes. Paid like actors, they are actors. In the reporting on this man's death, they point out that he has also done the theme song for Triple H, WWE character. H is the 8th letter, 888. Remember, 8 representing time. Been talking about 88. Triple H has gematria 43. Interesting that last year's WrestleMania, or earlier this year's, was a date with 43 numerology. Triple H lost in that. And next year's WrestleMania also scheduled for a date with 43 numerology. The word champion equals 43. WrestleMania, no doubt a championship. So this man who passed, this 49-year-old connected to the music of the WWE, his name was Christopher Warren, Christopher P. Warren. What stands out about his name gematria is the 101. Philadelphia equals 101. Also the 110, a number that shows up often in tragedy. World Trade Center is 110 stories tall. Osama bin Laden equals 110. Last year, the church shooting at 110 Calhoun Street. A lot of the decoding in the work I do, the 110 value is yielded. Christopher, a name with 67 gematria. 67 always showing up around these blood sacrifices. Christopher P. Warren in gematria equals 108. So does Golden State Warriors, originally from Philadelphia. His death announced after Golden State goes down to the Cavs dressed in all black after LeBron James wore the Undertaker shirt. His name's also interesting in simple English gematria. Warren, just like murder, just like Orlando. Christopher, just like Freemasonry. Christopher P. Warren, the name that they write for his obituary, has this gematria of 234. That's a backhanded way of getting to 666. 234 plus its reflection. 432 is 666, a numerology trick. With him being so closely associated with Triple H, Christopher Warren in gematria equals 218, syncing up with the word infinite. Again, 8 representing the infinite. He was born May 27th, 1967. Born in the year 67. Christopher equals 67. Blood sacrifice 67. That's a date with 118 numerology connected to death, like Toledo, Ohio. May 27th, 1967 was also a date with 55 numerology connecting to sacrifice. The day he died was a date with a life lesson number of 27. Think about musicians and the 27 Club. Date with 34 numerology connecting to Warren, connecting to murder, also connecting to Orlando. He died 16 days before what would have been his 50th birthday. He also died 96 days after the March 8th announcement of the upcoming WWE in Orlando. And with regards to him dying 16 days before his birthday, when you write out 16, it sums to 33. When you write out 16, it sums to 96. These are signatures of the Freemasons. And these people who, have earned their celebrity in this world by associating themselves with these popular, organizations, the WWE, the NFL, the NBA, what have you, they have essentially sold their soul to this gang of tyrants, taking all this money, this fame, to fulfill what is ultimately a lie. And maybe not so much with music and making the themes, but they're still working for this sick gang. And these gang members, these gangsters that rule over us, they are largely Freemasons. They're also Jesuits, other secret orders, but it's pretty much Freemasonry running the show. In the write-up for his death, it is said he is most remembered for the WWE theme Break It Down, a song also having gematria 50 like WrestleMania. And again, WrestleMania going to Orlando, Florida, where supposedly 50 people were just killed in a massacre. They also bring up that he had a relation with X-Pac, having gematria 44 and 17, just like Kill. fateful numbers in connection to this man in the article about his death. They also talk about the song he wrote for Triple H, My Time. And perhaps to the powers that be who he signed his contract with, this was his time to go. My Time has gematria of 85 and 31, so does the word basketball. And he wrote this song for Triple H, 888. We talked about how 8 signifies time. In last night's NBA Finals game, the Warriors finished with 88 shots, coming just days after they earned their 88th win of the season, 88 days after Steph Curry's birthday. It's all tributes, it's all scripted, it's all planned, it's all part of a really sick code. So that's pretty much the message this time, Truth Seeker. My next video, it's going to be on the movie Monsters, Inc. Very important video. I don't watch many movies. I just learned about this one, and it really blew my mind what's within it. All right, Truth Seeker, until next time.